Hello, this is Slate with Combo of Rocks, bringing you not one, but two video deck decks. The customer requested two decks with no lands, 60 card decks, so if the decks look a little smaller, that's why. So we do that by request. If you don't need the lands, I don't have to add lands for you. So we have Aesi, Tyrant of Gyre, Strait, and Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit. I'm going to go with Aesi first. We'll put this one to the side. We'll go over this one. So this is a 4 blue-green 5/5 Legendary Serpent. You can play an additional land in each of your turns, and whenever a land enters under your control, you may draw a card. So this does have a landfall theme. Let's get into the deck. We have Tatiova, Benthic Druid, which is just a smaller version. 3 blue-green for 3/3 Legendary Merfolk Druid. Whenever a land enters, you gain a life and draw a card. We have Gyre, Titan of Nature's Wrath, 1 blue-green for 6/6 Legendary Elder Giant. When it enters, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When it enters or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. You can't escape it from your graveyard for blue, blue, green, green, and exiling 5 other cards from your graveyard. Void Slime, blue, green, green, instant counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Plasm Capture, blue, blue, green, green, instant counter target spell at the beginning of your next pre-combat main phase. Add X of any combination of colors to your mana pool or X of that spell's mana value. Trench Behemoth, 5 blue, blue for 7/7 Kraken. You can return a land to its owner's hand to untap it against hexproof. Whenever a land enters under your control, target creature an opponent controls attacks during its next combat phase if able. We have Nadir Kraken, 1 blue, blue for 2/3 Kraken. Whenever you draw a card, you can pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Nadir Kraken and create a 1/1 blue tentacle creature token. Disallow, 1 blue, blue, instant counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. Rampaging Balas, 4 green, green for 6/6 beast with trample. Whenever a land enters, you can create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Avenger of Zendikar, 5 green, green for 5/5 elemental. When it enters, create a 0/1 plant for each land you control, and whenever a land enters, you can put a 1/1 counter on each plant creature you control. Primeval Bounty, 5 and a green. Enchantment, whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 3/3 green beast. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put 3 1/1 counters on target creature. Whenever a land enters, gain 3 life. Ulvenwald Hydra, 4 green, green for star, reach Hydra. Power toughness equal number of lands you control. When it enters, search your library for land, put on the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Scute Swarm, 200 green for 1/1 insect. Whenever a land enters under your control, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. If you have 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scute Swarm instead. This gets out of control fast. Nylea's Intervention, X green, green. Choose one, search for X land cards, any lands, not basics. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. Deals twice X damage to each creature with flying. Jahaira's Respite, 400 green instant. Search your library for X basic lands, where X is the number of creatures attacking you. Put those onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Disorienting Choice, 3 and a green sorcery. For each opponent, choose up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. For each permanent chosen this way, its controller may exile it. If 1 or more of the chosen permanents are still on the battlefield, you can search your library for that many land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. On the Trail, 1 in a green enchantment. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you can put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Lumbering World Wagon, 2 in a green for star 4. Powers equal number of lands you control. Whenever it enters or attacks, search for a basic land, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle with crew 4. Lotus Cobra, 1 in a green for 2/1 snake. Whenever land enters, add a mana of any color. Kazandu Mammoth, 1 green, green for 3/3 elephant with landfall. Whenever land enters, it does get +2/+2 until end of turn. This one can be a tapped green land if you need it to be. Divinril's Disc, 4 mana, enters tapped. You can pay 1 to destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments. We don't have a whole lot of each in the deck, not compared to some. We've got a lot of lands, and that's important in this deck. Seer Sundial, 4 mana artifact. Whenever a land enters, you can pay 2 colorless. If you do, draw a card. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring. Meteor Golem, 7 mana 3/3 artifact creature golem. When it enters, destroy non-land permanent and opponent controls. Grow Spiral, blue-green for an instant, draw a card, then put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Joint Exploration, 1 in a blue with kick or green. Scry 2, draw a card. If the spell is kicked, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Grappling Kraken, 4 blue for 5/6 Kraken with landfall. Whenever a land enters, tap a creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Counter Spell for 2 blue mana, counter any spell. Refute, for an extra mana, you draw a card and discard a card while countering a spell. Negate, 1 in a blue, counters a non-creature spell. Disdainful Stroke, 1 in a blue, counters a spell with mana value 4 or greater. Raven Form, 2 in a blue, exiles an artifact or creature, then its controller creates a 1/1 bird with flying. You can also foretell it for blue. Reality Shift, 1 in a blue, exiles a creature, then its controller manifests the top card of the library. Resculpt, 1 in a blue, exiles an artifact or creature, then its controller creates a 4/4 elemental. Tragic Lesson, 2 in a blue, draw 2 cards and discard a card unless you return a land to its owner's hand. Hydroelectric Specimen, 2 in a blue for 1/4 flash weird. When it enters, you can change the target of target instant or sorcery to this guy. It can also be a tapped or untapped blue land if you want to pay 3 life. Saloon Division, 2 in a blue, look at the top 6 cards of your library, reveal an instant sorcery, put it into your hand, the rest in the bottom in random order. It can also be a tapped blue land. We have Brawlios of Ferris Band, 3 green, green for star, Centaur Scout legendary. Power toughness equal number of lands you control. When it attacks, draw a card, then put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. We have Llanowar Elves, just some quick ramp here. Our Boreal Grazer, 1 green for 0/3 reach beast. When it enters, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Utopia Sprawl, enchants a forest. You choose a color, then it taps for additional mana of the chosen color. Enter the Unknown, 1 green. Target creature you control explores, then you can play an additional land this turn. Explore, 1 in green. Play an additional land, draw a card. Rampant Growth, searches for a basic land, puts it on the battlefield tapped. Secure Tribe Elder is the same thing, but a creature that has to sack itself for that its ability. Broken Bond, 1 in green, destroys an artifact or enchantment, then put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Colony Heart Expedition, 1 in green, landfall, put a quest counter on it, remove 3 quest counters and sack it, search for 2 basic lands, put them on the battlefield tapped. Fertilid, 2 in green for 0/0, enters with 2 counters. 1 green, remove a counter, search for a basic land, put on the battlefield tapped. Cultivate, 2 in a green, searches for 2 basics, puts 1 on the battlefield tapped, the other into your hand. Kodama's Reach is the same thing, but it is in Arcane. This is Pilgrimage, 2 in a green, same thing, but searches for 2 forests. But if you have 2 or more instants or sorceries in your graveyard, you do search for 3 forests instead. Scaled Heights, 2 in a green, put a 1/1 counter on a creature, you gain 2 life, play an additional land this turn, draw a card. Ranger's Path, 3 and green, searches for 2 forests, puts them onto the battlefield tapped. Map the Frontier, searches for 2 basics and or deserts, puts them onto the battlefield tapped. Retreat to Kazandu, 2 and green, whenever land enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or gain 2 life. You happen upon a glade, 2 and green, choose one, search for 2 basic lands, puts them into your hand, or return target permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Shoots down 3 and green, exiles an artifact, creature with flying or enchantment. Broken Wings destroys an artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. And Shower of Arrows does the same thing except scry 1. Into the next deck, we have Frodo, Adventurous Hobbit, so black-white for 1/3, legendary halfling scout, partners with Sam, loyal attendant, so this deck has 2 commanders with vigilance. When it attacks you, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, the ring tempts you, then if Frodo is your ring bearer and the ring has tempted you 2 or more times this game, draw a card. We have Sam, a loyal attendant, which is the partner, 1 green-white for 2/4, on your combats, create a food token. Foods cost 1 less to activate, so you pay 1 and stack them to gain 3 life. Siege Rhino, 1 black-green-white for 4/5 Rhino with trample. When it enters, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. Ready and Willing. Ready is 1 green-white. Creatures you control are indestructible. Untap them. You can fuse them, so pay both costs to get both parts. Willing, 1 black-white. Creatures you control gain Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. Oops. Last Field of the Bounteous Dawn. 2 green-white for 2/2 Unicorn Legendary with Lifelink. On your end step, you distribute 1/1 counters equal number of life you gain this turn. Legions of Ashen's 1 black-white. Exile a non-land permanent opponent controls and all tokens with the same name as that permanent. Felly Dodge Sovereign. 4 white-white for 4/6 cat beast with Vigilance and Lifelink. On your upkeep, you have 40 or more life. You win the game. The Gaffer, 2 and white, 2/3 Legendary Halfling Peasant. On each end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, draw a card. Gahiri, Greatest of the Eagles, 4 and a white for 5/5 flying Legendary Bird Noble. When it attacks, target creature gains flying. On your end step, if you gain 3 or more life, create a 3/3 white bird with flying. Whenever it attacks, target creature gains flying. Field Tested Frying Pan, 2 and a white. When it enters, create a food, then create a 1/1 halfling and attach this to it. Equip creature gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn with equip 2. Dawn of Hope, 1 and a white. Whenever you gain life, you can pay 2 to draw a card. 3 and white creates a 1/1 white soldier with lifelink. Heliod's Intervention, X white-white, destroy X artifacts or enchantments, or target player gains twice X life. Prize Pig, 1 and a green for 0/3 boar. Whenever you gain life, put a prize counter. If there are 3 or more prize counters, remove them and untap it. Adds a mana of any color. Assemble the Entmoot, 3 and a white for enchantment. Creatures you control have reach. You can sack it to create 3 tapped XX green tree folks, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Put a reach counter on them. Goreman's Talent, 1 green for an enchantment class. During your turn, artifacts you control are foods, and you can pay 2 and sack them to gain 3 life. 2 and a green levels it up. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 3/3 raccoon. 3 and a green levels up to level 3. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Accomplished Alchemist, 3 and a green for a 2/5 Elf Druid, taps for mana of any color, or taps X mana of any one color, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Killer Service, 2 and a green, enchantment. When it enters, create a number of food equal number of opponents you have. On your end step, you can pay 2 and sack a token. If you do, create a 4/4 green Rhino creature token. Loxodon Warhammer, 3 mana, 2/3 to equip. Equip creature gets +3/+0, has trample and lifelink. Chalice of Life, 3 mana, tap to gain a life. You have 10 or more than your starting life. Transform it. Becomes an artifact that taps to make a player lose 5 life. We do have Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Selesnya Signet, Talisman of Unity, Talisman of Hierarchy, Orzhov Signet, Talisman of Resilience, Golgari Signet, Golden Egg, which is a food. When it enters, draw a card. 1 tap, sack it, add a mana of any color. 2 tap, sack it, gain 3 life. Candy Trail, 1 mana, it's a food clue. When it enters, scry 2. 2 tap, sack, gain 3 life, and draw a card. Smoke Bomb, 3 mana, artifact, flash, creatures you control have Shroud. On your upkeep, sack it. If you do, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Yoshian Dissident, green-white for 1/1 human artificer. When an artifact enters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Greta, Sweet Tooth Scourge, 1 black, green for 3/3 legendary human warrior. When it enters, create a food token. Green, sack a food, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. 1 black, sack a food, draw a card, and lose a life. Savvy Hunter, 1 black, green for 3/3 human warrior. When it attacks or blocks, create a food token. Sack 2 foods to draw a card. Binding the Old Gods, 2 black, green for an enchantment saga. First chapter destroys an online permanent opponent controls. Second chapter searches for a forest, puts it on the battlefield taps. Creatures you control gain Death Touch on that 3rd chapter. Cat Collector, 2 and white for a 3/2 human citizen. When it enters, create a food token. Whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white creature token. Griffin Aerie, 1 and a white for an enchantment. On your end step, if you gain 3 or more life, create a 2/2 white griffin with flying. Rosie Cotton of South Lane, 2 and a white for 1/1 legendary halfling peasant. When it enters, create a food token. Whenever you create a food token, put a 1/1 counter on a creature you control other than Rosie. Late to Dinner, 3 and a white, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, then create a food token. Requisition Raid, 1 white with Spree, 1 mana, destroy an artifact, 1 extra mana, destroys an enchantment. Another mana puts a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. Annihilating Glare, 1 black, pay 4 or sack an artifact or creature, destroys a creature or planeswalker. Eviscerator's Insight, 1 into black, additional cost to cast, sack an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards with flashback, 4 into black. Giant Skewer, 1 into black, equipment, equip creature gets +2/+1. Whenever equip creature deals combat damage to a creature, create a food token with equip 3. Midnight Snack, 2 into black, on your end step, if you attack with a creature, create a food token, 2 black, sack this enchantment, target opponent loses X life, or X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Bacon to a pie, 2 black blight, destroys a creature, then creates a food token. Dire Sight, 2 into black, surveil 2, draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Voracious Fellbeast, 4 black for 4/4 Drake Beast with flying. When it enters, each opponent sacrifices a creature, then create a food for each sack creature. Dark Tutelage, 2 and a black enchantment. On your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put it in your hand, then you lose life equal to its mana value. Tireless Provisioner, 2 and a green, 3/2. Whenever land enters, create a food or a treasure token. Giant Opportunity, 2 and a green, you may sack 2 foods. If you do, create a 7/7 green giant. Otherwise, create 3 food tokens. Trail of Clumps, 1 and a green enchantment. Whenever you enters, create a food. Whenever you sack a food, you can pay 1. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Reveal a permanent, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. Returns of the Wild, 2 and a green, choose 2, search for a basic land, put another battlefield tapped, create a 1/1 human or create a food. Tough Cookie, 1 in a green for a 2/2 food golem. When it enters, create a food token. 2 in a green, target non-artifact creature becomes a 4/4 artifact creature until end of turn. 2 taps sacked, gain 3 life. Fertile Ground, enchants a land, then that land taps for additional mana of any color. Broken Bond, destroys an artifact or enchantment, put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. Gift of Paradise, 2 in a green, and when it enters, you gain 3 life. Enchant a land, taps for 2 mana of any color. Scale the Heights, we had this in the other deck. Stranger's Path, we also had this in the other deck. That's what Surge, 3 in a green, searches for 2 basics. You can pay 4 colorless extra to put 2/1/1 counters on each creature you control. Migration Path, 3 in a green, searches for 2 basics, puts them onto the battlefield tapped. You can also cycle it for 2 colorless. And then we have Orchard Strider, 4 green for a 6/4 tree folk. When it enters, create 2 food tokens, a basic land cycling for 1 in a green. Those are the decks. I hope you enjoyed them, but we'll see you next time.